I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world, and that's our job.
You have to make it. What up, DMV? We getting money whole time, fucking bitches whole time, rapping DC whole time. We getting money whole time, fucking bitches whole time, rapping DC whole time. Whole time, whole time, doing this whole time, whole time, whole time, doing this whole time, whole time, whole time, doing this whole time, man, you're back, whole time, doing this whole time.
Like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing.
Welcome to a pod named Kickback. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing, also known as the Black CNN, and the revolution will be televised. I'm no breaks new, the righteous ratchet. If you throw it, I'll catch it. If you got it, I'll match it. Each and every week, we right back at it. I am the Black Savage, the Magneto of my people. And this week, we got a special DMV lesson edition because I got one of my guys in the building. I will tell you a lot of things this man has done for DMV music and DMV radio, but not before we introduce him and he tells you who he is. We're bringing in my man Two-Face, your wild boy, Dan Wilder.
Yeah.
What up, bruh?
Yo, AKA I'm fat, AKA I'm not as fat as I was last year, AKA I'm still Puerto Rican, AKA damn I missed the chicken wings and mumbo sauce back home in DC, AKA hold on I gotta breathe, huh? AKA the asthma ain't all the way gone yet. Let's rock.
Let's rock. Hey, Face, before we really get into the pod, I really gotta let people know you were like a beacon of light for independent artists in the DMV. And there were a handful of y'all, but I'm gonna talk about you right now. You were a beacon of light. You were somebody that always had an encouraging word, had a welcoming opportunity. It's one thing to be like, hey man, good job, respect. I like what you're doing. That means a lot. And I don't want to diminish that. But it's different when it's like, hey man, I got this event. Hey man, I got this going on. Hey man, I'm coming to your studio session. Hey man, I'm gonna get on your song. Like you did a lot, and I appreciate what you did for the DMV, and I want to salute that. But I appreciate what you did for me. And I want to salute that too. Being, what would I call you? I would have to say,
Puerto Rican?
Well, I mean, yeah, aside from Puerto Rican,
Okay.
A decision maker, a gatekeeper to the DMV music scene, and seeing how you were unbiased, how you were supportive, and how you made yourself not appear bigger than the movement, because you really could have been. I always respected it. I always appreciated it. And if I've never said thank you, or if you feel no DMV artist has ever said thank you, I want to say thank you right now. Give you your flowers. This is not Drink Champs. We're going to talk shit about the industry. We're going to talk shit about life. But before we get into it, I would be remiss if I ain't say, man, like salute, my nigga. I appreciate you and your contributions to what I've tried to create have never gone unnoticed. And I appreciate it decades later.
Great, man. I appreciate the love. And till this day, I've never met anybody that can do the running man, do jumping jacks, drop down, and do push-ups, and still stay centered on the microphone. I could never. I'm like, young, he's jumping. And I'm who's I talking to? I was talking to I keep getting his fucking name up, keep twisting his name up. But we were in the studio with Juice Box. And I'm like, yeah,
right. Slash Water Boy.
And I'm like, he's jumping up and down. This ain't gonna sound right. He was just like, just give him a second. And we start running this shit. And we're running the board, and I'm like, young, how does he do? It's like You ever pick a dog up and you go like this, and their body moves, but their head stays straight? It's like your neck got a gimbal or something, like a camera gimbal. That was insane to me, man. The only two people I've seen do that, you and Raheem Devon, and yet everything went straight into the microphone. Unreal.
Man, I appreciate you sharing that crazy ass story, because people now don't even remember I rapped. They know, oh, you the podcast dude. I'm like,
hey,
yeah,
that's a great way to reinvent yourself, though.
Facts. But I'm like, I did used to actually get on the mic and rap, and I use some of my music as our intro, of course, and for different segments. And as we get into a different segment, I want to start with High Low. High Low is our first segment of the week, and it's just about what was your high of the week, what was your low of the week, and what do you want to share of that. So before we get into High Low.
Now, High Low. Who wants to go first?
High Low, who wants to go first? Face, you want me to go first or you want to go first?
You can go first because I'm nervous.
Okay. My high of the week. I set out for a mission a few months ago, and I am very close to realizing that mission. And that mission encompassed a few different things. I'll share with you too. Getting this podcast to like double, triple, quadruple its numbers. Something to make a difference. Oh yeah. Round of applause. Let me want a round of applause at. And our July numbers quadrupled any other month that I've ever had since I've been doing it. I've been doing it 11 years. You know how they say hard work pay off, or you stay at it and people quit. I love it too much to quit, so I just keep doing it. I like doing it, and in doing that, it's quadrupled our numbers, which is great. I'm an entrepreneur, independent business owner. If for all your life insurance needs anywhere in the United States, holler at me. I got you. Got your grandma, your grandpa, your babies, whoever you need a policy on. I got you.
We gotta talk about that after, like, off the air, because one of the who was that New York Life, whatever that life insurance company, they denied me because of all my health issues.
Well, I got you. I will get you qualified with at least 2 different carriers, and we'll pick the best one.
Word. I need that because I paid for it through my job with my insurance and all that. And because a lot of people don't know, I work for Odyssey Inc., which is it used to be see, this is one of my ADHD is on
that's
fire.
One of the musical sites, right?
Yeah, that's it used to be Entercom, and before that it was Infinity Broadcasting. They own PGC and V103 down in Atlanta. And because it's the same thing I've been doing for the past 13 years as a voice actor, and a producer, it just blends in with what I do every day. But a lot of people don't realize I actually have a full-time job doing this on top of my business, because it's not a conflict of interest. As long as I'm not, under contract with another company, then it's good. So I appreciate that, because I get to work from home and do what I've been doing. It just getting guaranteed money and paid time off. Because when you that's paid time off. I ain't had that since I was on the radio.
Hey, tell me about it. Tell me about it. And every day I take off is just a day I take off.
Right.
It's a day I don't make no money. Well, unless the residual comes in. And if you're interested in that, I'll help you guys with that. But having said that, we'll definitely wrap offline. So that was my high of the week. My low of the week, I'm gonna say this in a way that doesn't tell too much. And I'm sorry, guys. Everything ain't content. When you have someone you care about and you see them making mistakes or doing things that could harm them, could prevent them from progressing the way you would want, and they would want, you got a choice to make. Do I say something and risk offending them, or things not going well, or do I just mind my business? I'm the friend that says something. I'm never the friend that minds his business. And I have lost some friends because of that. And some things that went down recently were some things that I could not say nothing. I gotta say something. If I say you my man or you my homegirl and I love you, I gotta say something. And I said something, and it wasn't received well. And that was probably my low of the week, because it was from a place of love. You want your people to do well, But I think the lesson I'm learning is sometimes you just gotta, and I don't really pray. I send positive energy. I think sometimes you gotta, I sent you some positive energy. God bless, do what you want. And I'll stay out the fucking way. Because people can't really take that truth. And that's what I'm learning. So that was my low. What about you, Face? What's your high? What's your low?
My high of the week was Blueberry Kush.
Ooh.
Oh, wait a minute. No, my bad. My high of the week. I was dealing with some stress, and for the first time, I instead of because I'm the type of person that I'm the guy, like I'm the friend that people call when they're dealing with things. So when I'm dealing with things, and I've been like this since I was young, if I'm dealing with something, I just go in my little corner and I hide. But that doesn't change anything. That doesn't help situations. I've lost friends because of it. I've lost clients because of it. I let it really sink in, and I got to give props. There's two people I want to give props to. One, when we were talking about the music scene in DMV and my contributions, what kept me grounded was P Stu. I interned for P Stu when I was 17 in the Live Squad. And I learned so much from Pooch, P Stu, and Steph Lover, because to me, they were like fucking Captain America when you put them together. So I learned a lot of things from them. But the humble, the grind part and the hands-on production, which is why I do production now, was from P Stu. And the other person I need to shout out is Chandra Gore. She's amazing PR. But most importantly, she's been the person that has been stopping me from, some people just have a knack of talking to you and helping you kind of rethink things or see things from a different perspective. And I'm used to doing that. It's crazy because I can offer all the types of advice in the world, but don't practice half of what I preach. And I'm working on that. So when I dealt with something this week and it fucked me up, and I'm like, fuck. Wait a minute, can we curse?
Hell yeah. Fuck
okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it fucked me up. And normally when that happens, I shut everybody out except for my kids. I never shut my kids out. Matter of fact, they're my guiding light. So that was my high. That was a huge high because when it happened, I got mad. So boom, boom, boom. And then I'm like, see, here you go with that bullshit again. And I thought about the things she said to me jokingly. And I'm also kind of scared she might fuck me up if I backtrack. Hi, Chandra. And as far as my low, other than misplacing my bud, because that really hurt my feelings, but an actual low was actually the stuff I was dealing with stress-wise. So it was kind of a double-edged sword because it was some stress and some shit that I'm dealing with, and and it's things that I'm trying to balance out with myself. I have terrible tunnel vision, and it's funny how nowadays they take tunnel vision and ADHD and they push it as you're just hyper focused on something. All right, that's what you want to call it to make it sound cool. But that's my thing. So that was my high and low at the same time because it hit me, and it was just it's when you're trying to figure things out in life and you're fixing things, and it's like while you're fixing a few things here, there's things happening over here. And because I didn't balance myself and balance my time properly, that's why I hit that slump. But at the same time, it only hit me for a couple of hours. I was like, man, you know what? Fuck that. Just get over it. I sent her a message. I was like, thank you. And she probably didn't even realize what the hell I thanked her for, but that's why I thanked her. So yeah, that was my high and low at the same time. It's weird. All within 2 hours.
That's what's up. I guess we'll move on to our viral story that we can get this whole podcast thing started.
Damn it. I bought a fold-up chair just for that, and I can't find it. I think it's still in the garage. Never mind.
Oh damn. I'll give you a second to see if you can locate it.
Oh no, that's down 3 flights of steps and into a garage. Nope. Okay. Nope. When I come back, I'll be sweating and breathing hard.
It'd be too much. Well, our viral story of the week.
My left stroke just went viral.
The Alabama Sweet Tea Party.
Man.
I'm gonna tell you, I try not to be reckless with my platform, I am pro-black, 5% of Muslim, ready to fight, ready to throw them things, power to the people, got an encore on my bracelet. Like I'm here. And this was for me. This happened for me. To see every part of it was unique. Every part of it was a story. Because you got the black co-captain trying to clear the way to get the ship with the black people over. Then you got the white people resisting, and then you see them physically attacking them. He throws the hat in the air, the bat signal. Everybody goes, "Whoa, what's going on?" The bat signal, and then they attack him, and they're fighting, and then you got the Aquaman who's swimming to shore. And then you got everybody getting to a shore, and then them fighting, and then them, it's 4 against 1, it's 5 against 2, then it's 5 against 5, then it's 8 against 5, and then it's the white women there, and then the men can't do much with the women, but then you have black women showing up, and they're putting hands and feet and knees and elbows on the white women, and then you got Brother with the Chair, and I've ordered my shirt. It did not arrive today, but I will have it on for next podcast. Lift every chair and swing. And I ordered it. It'll be here. Shout out to Cobb Custom, homegirl. She sent it off to me. It'll be here before next episode, and I'll have it on next episode.
Nice.
I've never felt. We get together over some dumb stuff sometimes. Like I was in I went to Coolidge in DC, Northwest, and I'm Muslim, 5%. And there was a traditional Sunni Muslim who taught a particular class. And because of how we talked to the kids and the education he was giving us outside of school, they fired him. And he, the day we found like they fired him, we organized the walkout. We walked out peacefully, but it's Coolidge. You got Kennedy Street, you got Riggs Park, you got the hood. So they started trying to flip over a Metro bus. And I'm sitting there as the resident Malcolm X, like, no, this is not going to bring him back to the school. These people on this bus have nothing to do with this.
There was people on the bus?
Yes.
Shit.
Yes. This was 1992 or 3. I graduated in 94. So this 2 or 3. And I'm like, y'all, like, they ain't got nothing to do with this. So I have loved the rebellious nature, the revolt nature, but I've seen it misplaced. It wasn't misplaced this time. We attacked who needed to be attacked. We fought back against exactly who needed to be fought back against, and we won. And I just want, where my round of applause, goddammit. I want to shout out to all my black people that were in Alabama that stood up against these micro oppressors. I call them my micro oppressors because it was only like 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? And they were trying to do all this crap. But I appreciated it. I do know some people are probably going to get locked up, probably going to go to jail, probably have to do a little time. The white people better do the same amount of time or more, if not more, because they started it.
Right.
But it just made me feel good, Face. Like, it just made me feel good. Pause. I feel like Halle Berry. Made me feel good. But that's how it made me feel. What was your interpretation of that moment?
I'm not a violent person.
Okay.
And I've always been like the MLK of the crew. That guy was chill. But even though I was a hype man because what I did for a living, but if there's a way to do it without fighting, let's figure it out. But in a time when we're so used to, especially with all the black on black crime, the Hispanic crime, everything, with everything that's going on in the world and constant division, like you said, sometimes we just come together on some dumb shit. But to see so many people come to see them come and yo, my man jumped off the boat into the water and swam ashore.
Aquaman
got out, shook the shit off, and was with all the smoke. It's not, and some people are, oh, you're glorifying events. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Sometimes it's just like dealing with bullies. When the minute you stand up to a bully, they leave you the fuck alone. And when and people say, oh, they're so, they're so divided, and you hear the racist shit, the stuff that goes viral. Oh, they're gonna keep killing each other and blah blah. So in the midst of all that, to see everybody come together like that to help him out, come on, man. How could you not be proud of that? How could that not make you feel good in a world where there's so much turmoil, more now than ever? And maybe it's not more now than ever. Maybe it's just because we have social media and technology, so we see everything more. Like racism, when they see this stuff, even with everything as deep and as big as George Floyd, this shit happens on a regular basis. But because of modern technology, now we're seeing everything, just like the whole UFO shit. And they're like, oh, it's UFOs. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. We know. But that's why nobody's tripping. Mm-hmm. And half of us are like, are you sure? Or are you just saying that to cover something else up? Shit's been so crazy, you just don't know. So like I was saying, I'm all out of my ADHD medication. So if I start going, you know what I'm saying, just pull me back. It's okay.
That is the definition of the podcast. So my brother, have your way with it. That's why I have one guest a week, so we can explore every goddamn thing. Pause. Amen. But I do feel like it really was a sense of pride. And I don't want to overstate that, but I don't want to understate it neither.
Right.
Like I felt like we stood up for each other.
Mm-hmm. Each other.
Right. All of those people didn't know each other. Mm-hmm. You know, some of them may have, and I'm fine with that. But there was like one or two brothers that was like, y'all jumping a brother. It's like the Tupac thing. When he pulled up on those cops and shot those cops, he didn't know the brother they was beating up. He saw two white men beating up a black man. And he just let his gun off. Like, ain't not on my watch. And I wish more of us would say not on our watch. Mm-hmm. And we wouldn't have a lot of the deaths that we've had. And I don't want to blame anybody, like you should have done this, because that's a lot. You got to ask somebody to give ultimately, if you're fighting the police when those police shootings are happening, you're giving up your life. And then like you're going to jump in front of George Floyd and then they're going to let you live. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to put that pressure on anybody or mock you for not doing anything. But it's still a beautiful thing when someone does have the courage to do it. Yep. But I'm not blaming people that don't, because I'm not on that. But, I mean, man, what's your favorite name? They called it the Alabama's Sweet Tea Party. They called it the Fade in the Water. They called it the Alabama Brawl. What title did you like?
My favorite wasn't even the overall part. It was, and I saved it right here because I was dying laughing. Is they call my man? Oh, wait a minute. The Riverboat Swim Team, and called him Pookie Phelps. And then my man, shout out to DJ Franchise. He called him. He was like, nah, that's Scuba Gooden Jr. But
Scuba Gooden Jr. I saw that. Scuba Gooden Jr. I saw that. Let's get into his mind real quick. And we don't always do this on a podcast, but let's put ourselves in his shoes. He saw it happening. He dove into the water and swam across. Got to land, got up, had to dry himself at least a little bit, and then started throwing bows and doing suplexes. Mm-hmm. He suplexed one dude. What was going through his mind face? Like, where was he at?
That was the epitome of, oh, hell nah.
Hell nah.
And then if he's not listen, if you're watching, dog, get into swimming and whatever else. He's got to be into something. You got to be in great shape to jump in the water, swim across to the dock, get up and fight with wet clothes on. You know how hard it is to move with wet clothes on? I've been caught in plenty of drenches in walking, going to see a little youngin' when I was in junior high school, and then I was walking back home. I had to walk all the way up North Capitol Street, all the way to Girard, while it's pouring down raining with my black tops on, the Reebok black tops. So whatever year that was, that's when that. So walking in that drenched clothes, that alone, I remember that to this day. That was junior high school. I'm 45. So yeah, he's in great shape. And I just think and it could have tricked something. It could have been something that triggered. I would love to know where his mindset was at, but it was definitely a oh hell nah moment. and you know, it's just because you got people that hate bullies, you know, and then it's like, and how could you not think that race didn't play a part? Because so when you see the bullying, the racism, and just straight up jumping like that, I mean, probably just and it also could be where he's from. Just like, oh nah, man, nah, and then that just, you know, and then other people were coming to help, you know, his co-workers, and then just people out of the blue, man. But you know, that was amazing, and it brought so much joy, like you said, it brought pride, and you don't want to, you know, overstate it, but you don't want to understate it, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. It went viral, but it was a viral thing showing that, yo, we came together to help one of our own without having, oh, what happened, or you know, notice there's not too much footage, too much world star. So instead of world star, it was like, oh hell nah. So you know, it's dope, man. That's awesome. I mean, we all need to come together on a regular basis for something more than just that, but you got to start somewhere. And for that to have such a global impact, yo, that's cool, man.
I agree 100%. I wonder what kind of punishment is going to be levied. I'm sure it will be something.
They did ask for old boy with the chair to turn himself in.
Yeah, I thought they locked him up that night. They ain't lock him up that night.
Yeah, somebody turned himself in. I thought it was the guy with the chair. I could be wrong.
Maybe,
But
I saw them in that moment, them subdue him. Maybe they didn't take him into custody.
Well, they asking for somebody to turn themselves in. That was a part of it. It's like, and because they said his name. In the news, so I just didn't know who the names were and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what's up. And if anybody does get locked up and bail is posted, I'm pretty sure there's going to be an instant GoFundMe and it's going to get paid in so. Matter of fact, here, man, here's some extra money, get some food, take care of yourself, boom, boom, boom. So
you know who's the biggest proponent of paying those bail fees over the last decade? Who's been just throwing money at it?
Who?
Jay-Z. Everybody in Ferguson, he bailed out personally.
Wow.
So I expect that when the bill's posted, or the bill's announced, the bill will be posted. Because I doubt Jay-Z switch up now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't put no pressure on him. Grown man with his own family. I didn't put pressure. But I've just seen what he's done.
Right.
So I would expect him and Beyonce. I expect them to be in jail for less, you know, once bail is announced, I expect bail to be posted within an hour.
Yep.
And that's another reason why I love Jay, you know what I'm saying? And love hip hop in general.
Yep.
And that brings us to our Black Fact of the Week. This is a brand new segment in the podcast. I was actually talking with my father about Donald Trump and a bunch of different things. And one conversation we had was about teaching Black history and what happened to it. And I had to play on KRS-One's You Must Learn. I was like, he laid out Black history like a motherfucker in this song. And he was like, man, this should happen. You know, we should do more albums and we got to do this. And I was like, 2023, I don't know if that's going to happen. And I was like, you know what? I can add it to my podcast. I'll do my part. And in doing my part, our Black Fact of the Week is hip hop music, which is how me and Two-Face met through our love of hip hop music.
Yep.
Turns 50 on the 11th. If you're watching us live, that's in 3 days. If you're listening to us on the podcast sites, that's in 2 days. So it actually will be, is that Friday? Is Friday the 11th?
Yep.
So Friday the 11th, hip hop turns 50. That's the 50th anniversary of when Kool Herc threw his back to school jam and decided to fricka. And instead of playing the whole song, he was gonna play the break beat and have his homie wish everybody a speedy, you know, good new school year over the mic. And that was the birth of MCing and DJing. And shout out to Kool Herc, shout out to Grandmaster Caz, shout out to Melly Mel. And that was the birth of hip hop. And in celebrating the birth of hip hop, and myself as an MC, executive producer, artist, influencer from a city that didn't have much, for whatever reason, we made the best of what we had. And I do consider myself part of that. And can't nobody deny goddamn use a part of it. But what I'll do is make it bigger than DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And I want your top 5 MCs of all time. I will give mine.
Wow.
We owe it. This is the 50th
Yeah.
anniversary of hip hop. And I don't, if you want to switch it to your favorite, I'm with that too. You can do your top 5 or
You
your
say my favorite
5.
Hove. I'm a Jay-Z stan.
Give me your favorite 5.
All right. I don't want to say specifically in order because I had this conversation with my son, who's a huge hip hop head, and he raps. But hands down, Jay-Z.
Okay. I'm with you.
Nas, Big,
Okay.
Pun.
Okay.
Why are you doing this to me? One more.
You can say no.
Dog. The person who made me love rap when I was a kid, and that's the late great Heavy D. When Heavy D played such a huge part in my love for hip hop, one, because I'm light skinned. Back then in DC, they didn't know about Puerto Ricans, so I was just light skinned. They'd be like, "What is he? He ain't one of them El Salvadorians. He don't look like one of them. He just light skinned." And then that's when I kept getting called white bread and Pillsbury Doughboy, and they just didn't know what. And then it's funny, and I told my son this, and my brother Bo knows about this too. When I was at Lincoln in junior high school, before they turned it into a middle school, that's how old I am. Matter of fact, our year, class of '93, was the last year that Lincoln was a junior high school. They said if y'all do good, it'll stay at junior high school. Y'all fuck it up, it's gonna be a middle school. We fucked it up, needless to say. Wow. See, there go my ADHD again. And I'm all out of my medicine.
The reason you loved Heavy D.
Oh, yeah. So I'm light skinned, and then it's like,
so
and then my name's Dan. My real name is Dan. So Heavy D was like a subtle nickname for me, and I ran with that. But yeah, Heavy D was the reason why I fell in love with hip hop, and then and I'm a jokester, so I was listening to him and the Fat Boys, and my first record was Heavy D and the Boys. My first cassette was Fat Boys, My Nuts. And my parents found it, they smashed it, and they threw it in the trash without even giving it a shot. Like, just listen to it, it's funny. But yeah, they was not having it. So yeah, that's my 5. That's my heavy 5 too, yo. Cause yeah, they all and yeah, that's my heavy 5. And yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna give you my 5.
Did I say Pac? I said Pac, didn't I?
You didn't say Pac.
I didn't say Pac. See, that's all right. So I got to put Pac in the top 5, but my all-time the person who made me love hip hop is Heavy D. I gotta keep Pac in the top 5 because, and which is, and part of that, what drives me crazy is when people always compared, Biggie and Pac. Nah, that was just they were just unfortunate, and had no intention of spearheading the East Coast, West Coast shit. That was all Suge and Puff.
This happened.
But style-wise, and when you think of rap, I never compared Big and Pac. I always compared Big to Jay-Z and Nas to Pac because they were the ones that had more similar things. And that's why I love, like, even when that's why it broke my heart when Jay-Z and Nas started beefing, because they were growing up, they were my main favorites because of the styles, and I like having it. This, like, even with Biggie and Pac, and that used to drive me crazy. But Nas, before Ether came out, that just broke my heart, and I had to go hide from it. And we were on the radio too. We were the Wild Boys at the time, and Malik would not let me live that down. That song came out, I was like, nah, we can't play it, and we had to play the new song of the day. And I was like, no, I'm not playing. Nope. And at the whole time, he introduced it. He got the callers' feedbacks. So, Face, what you think about the? Leave me alone, Just leave me alone. Just let me have my moment, Just leave me alone. Like, so yeah, that's my solid 5 with paying homage to Heavy D at the same time.
I respect it. So I might throw me a honorable mention in there as well. I'm gonna start with, and I've gone back and forth between my favorite of all time. It depends on what day it is. So today is going to be taking me back to my childhood. It's going to be, because BET was in DC, for those that don't know. And for those that think that I just started rapping when I was 20s or podcasting in my 40s, let me take you back to when I was a teenager and I was rapping. and going and trying to get Flex and P Stu to play my 16, 15, 17-year-old songs on the radio on the home jams on Sunday night or whatever the hell. I went up to BET to see my favorite rapper. And I begged my aunt. I knew he was there because my buddy was on Teen Summit, and they had a crew called The Posse.
Posse, yep.
My best friend Shmi was on it. And he said, yo, he's here. Get down here now. And I'm 16 years old. I didn't have my own car, living with my aunt, and I begged her. And she was like, no, you've been going out and you've been doing this. And I'm like, it's different. He's there. What you mean I can't go? Let me get the car. He's there. I'm a rapper. This is the person I want to do music with. Like, how could you say no? And after begging and convincing her for about an hour, which was like way too late, she let me go. I drove down. I was staying on right off Michigan Avenue by Brookland train station. And BT was by Rhode Island Avenue.
Rhode Island, yep.
5-minute drive, 8-minute drive. I drove down there as fast as I could. I got out the car and I ran from the car to the door. Let me calm down. I'm messing the mic up. I ran to the door. I burst the door open, walked in, look left, look right, look left, look right. Where could? And he was standing right to my right. And I felt like I just played myself. I just ran in this building, full in my head, looking. This story, I want to make sure y'all hear it clearly. So, okay, looking left and right. And I saw him standing there like, fuck, I played myself. No, I ran in here looking at him, and I ain't say nothing to him. I kind of like did a head nod and walked away. And then I went to the green room, Face, you know what the green room is, and was talking to my boy who called me down, and one of the guys that started his career. And we're talking and we're discussing hip hop. I don't have a demo tape, but I'm filing for him. And he's like, I can't give you a record deal off of freestyle. You know, you hear a song, this is this. And he's like, but you know what? You know, we've been here for a minute. Y'all want to go meet Pac? Yes, Shock G. Yes, Shock G. I do want to go meet Pac. I drove down here like a madman to meet Pac, and I was embarrassed. He was standing by the door and I'm looking all crazy when I walked in. Yes, I do want to meet him. And Shock G took me and my man Shmi down the backstairs at BET to meet Tupac. He was rolling a blunt, and we got to sit there and talk with him. And Pac has been I guess as a child, was my idol as a child. And to sit there and exchange those few words with him and talk with him at age 16, it was just crazy. So you can imagine how I felt when everything else happened. So he's number one. He's number one because I wanted to tell that story. Number two is G. As a rapper who prided himself on, I wasn't like the biggest gangster thug, like that kind of wasn't really me. I did what I had to do to make money. I don't deny it. And I thought I was flyer than everybody else. And I thought I could get your girl. And I didn't think I was the most handsome nigga, but my demeanor would get me to a girl. And I saw that in Jay-Z. So I had an immediate affinity for Jay-Z because I never saw myself as a little homie. I was like the little homie, like 12, hanging with the big homies, 15, 16. But in a lot of ways, I was the big homie. And I was the little kid. So I always saw myself like, man, I'm here. And my rap was the best. You know what I'm saying? I never saw myself as like a little youngin'. And I admired that in Jay-Z, that he was Biggie's little youngin', quote unquote, or Pac or Master P, whoever was popping at that moment. But he carried himself like, no, I'm him. I'm him. Yep. Like, whatever. And number three is a person who, I'm gonna say, carried himself in an arrogant way or a flashy way, like he was him. But growing up in DC, he was him. And that's Scarface. Scarface just had an aura about him. he just had and I was a manic depressive, bipolar, depressed child. And nobody was talking about that but Scarface at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So to address that issue that I had that nobody else around me seemed to have, it was just Scarface. And he welcomed me into that world where I could embrace my mental health challenges and not feel like I was the alien. Or if I was the alien, I wasn't the alien in a bad way.
Right.
I was special. You know, I was different. He would be 3. And going back to just my personality, just I think I'm that dude. I'm the mayor of the DMV. And this dude called himself the king of the South. I saw a similarity. Shout out to T.I. And my 5th spot has changed a lot of times. And it would normally be Lil Wayne. I disrespected his ability. Lil Wayne is the only rapper that made me stop rapping for like 2 months. I was like, I can't be that good. So why am I even doing it? He made me quit rapping. Like, this nigga too good. Like, nobody's gonna be better than him. That whole Drought 3 mixtape leading up to the Carter 3, I was like, this everybody should stop. And he made me stop. So I got to give him that credit. But when it comes to my heart and how I feel, that's why I go to Nipsey Hussle. Like, I was hitting Nipsey on Twitter in 2009, 2010, like, dog, we got to work. And just ain't had my bread up and couldn't get that collab done. But I spoke in Nipsey's ceremony here in Atlanta. Like, that was my guy. And and I definitely respect him. And if you go to old school, of course, Rakim, 5%, that's where I got it from. You know what I'm saying? But that I don't want to get 85 people and I gave you 5. So we'll
Lil Wayne is that's a good one. It's funny because Jay-Z goes, nobody can see me on that stage talking about verses. I'm like, in 2023, Wayne got joints. Wayne got joints that even though, you know, Jay-Z's the original Carter and then him, and he pays homage to that, but you can't take that away because who else would go up against Wayne in that? They come from somewhat 2 different eras, but when it comes to that kind of catalog and shit like that, like, come on, yeah, unless you're gonna go somebody who's above Jay-Z, and that's LL Cool J.
Yeah, and the eras don't quite align. Or Buster, the eras don't quite align. Nas is like on this, we did Jay-Z versus Nas. When verses first got popular, we did Jay-Z versus Nas, Tupac versus Biggie, a new edition versus Bill Biv DeVoe, Robert Treasman, Johnny Gill, Bobby Brown individually. We did a group together and individually. We did, so those were creative verses, but I don't think you could do a real verse with Jay-Z unless it's Nas.
No, man, because then if they play Ether, it's over. I as a fan, as a pure Jay-Z stan, like that's my rib shot. And then it's funny because I talk about that, and my son, I don't know where he gets this obnoxiousness from.
You don't know where?
I don't. And it's like, what the fuck? But every time I get on my Jay-Z shit, he'll come in my room, and then off his phone, all I hear is boom, fuck Jay-Z. Like, young, stop, get out before you ground it. He does that to piss me off. Because
I'll tell you what, my thing with Ether, and the Ether was Ether. I'm not taking anything from Ether. Ether was Ether, period. But there was some just lies and Bama shit in Ether. Like, it wasn't like a bunch of facts. It was some slick shit, some fun shit, some shit that if it was true, it would be really damaging. But all that shit wasn't true. And when the diss song comes, I need to just order some more mics. But a lot of that shit just it wasn't as true. It was I looked it's Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
So our what the fuck story of the week. Well, to summarize, I was some with ether weren't necessarily true, and I took a point or two away. It still didn't really do much to.
Be cool, baby, okay?
I'm cool. I'm cool.
I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
I fucking love that clip.
Yeah, me too. I used that because I was like, the mic is messing up, but I'm a savage, and whatever I want, I'm gonna get. So I was saying not to take away the validity of ether, because ether was a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
But I just looked at it a little differently because I didn't think everything in there was true. But our what the fuck story of the week that I do want to switch over to is a young woman with vacation with her family, and she was thirsty. And she decided to, drink some water. And she had.
Try to see if the short is on the other end. I can't hear you anymore. I sound like I'm in water. Okay, I'm not going to show this because I'm not sponsored by it, but damn, this is some delicious sparkling water because I don't drink soda anymore. Woo! Where is? Well, while you setting that up, what I can do, I can talk about one of my favorite. And it's funny because we both mentioned Nas, right? And one of my favorite all-time moments in hip-hop was an interview. I was a part-timer on Saturdays, and I was a street jock during the week. And then Nas was there. This was the 10-year anniversary of his career. So I'm there. I'm like, holy shit. The last time I saw Nas was when we did a party and we opened up for them back in the Quigley's days when the stage was in front of Wingmasters or whatever. And he was with AZ, and I was when Tisha Campbell and Missy Elliott first dropped. And but I got to interview him. And it's 10-year anniversary. So so I asked him, and they said, all right, because I knew the reps. They was like, all right, but you only got like 2-3 minutes. We got to make it quick. I'm like, all right, it's cool. I'm only on Saturdays. It's cool. So we get to chopping it up. And then I asked him, I'm like, yo, I said, if nothing else, I got to know, with this being your 10 years at hip hop, what's your favorite period? He goes, ooh, he said, what's your favorite era? I said, oh, that's too easy. Back when hip hop was so universal at the same time, where you had New York, you had Cali, you had Atlanta, and a little bit Midwest at the same time too, and then Scarface making Texas pop. So when that time Big and Pac was still alive, you know what I'm saying, and Dre and Snoop were running shit. So that was my favorite. He was like, yo, how can I top that? So then we went from talking about that to what hip hop has done for us and how we feel and what moves us, and you know, talking about, like, I asked him about how he dealt with people saying that he sold out when If I Ruled the World came out, and he had Lauryn Hill singing, and then when he performed that, I think it was the Source Awards or the BET Awards, Hip Hop Awards, one of the two.
I'm in
where
the
he,
Source.
when he performed and he had on the mink and he was straight mafioso, but he also had background dancers and he got ridiculed for that. I told him that's when, but as much as he got ridiculed for that, that was a turning point in hip hop. Just like how 50 made it good shitting on Ja Rule for singing on hooks and those rap styles, but that was another turning point because he was using them. So the only difference is he wasn't singing it. He was just getting people like Nate Dogg, God rest his soul, one of the greatest.
Rest in peace, Nate Dogg.
Oh my God, one of the greatest, and also one of the most humble. Woo! Yeah. Man, that was the first time I ever saw a chronic bud. Yo, he was in the tour bus, and Pete Stu brought me on the bus to meet him. Right, just right before I did the live broadcast of Republic Gardens. He gonna pull out this jar with the seal. You know, you pop open the seal, and it looked like, honey, I grew the Brussels sprouts.
Damn,
dog. And he said, yeah. He was like, that's that chronic. He said, go ahead. He was like, go ahead, pick one up and smell it. And I picked one. I picked a big ass joke too. I was amazed. Holy shit. He was like, all right, that's yours. I said, get the fuck out of here, dog. Dog, we after the club, I woke up on Sunday.
Damn.
This was Friday night, Republic Gardens live broadcast. I woke up on Sunday.
Hey, rest in peace, Nate Dogg.
My goodness, yo. Wow. Like, wow. Man, shout out. Dog, Peace to open my eyes and open so many doors for me. And even in my radio career was very, he introduced me to so many people. He introduced me like I was that dude. And just like Abdul used to do, the club owner. And
Abdul,
man, I met so many, that's just crazy, man. Again, all this because of the love of hip hop.
And shout out to Peace 2, because Peace 2 did a lot for me as well. He put me in a lot of the capital city ciphers. He played a lot of my music. He invited me to a lot of places that I wouldn't have been able to get into without him. So yeah, definitely shout out to Peace 2. I put him right there with you. You know what I'm saying? For sure. And people may not believe this because Steph was like tomboy, but I had a crush on Steph Lover.
A lot of people did, low key.
I did. And niggas were like, what, Steph? I'm like, yeah, nigga, Steph. Because she wasn't going to put up with your shit. Still had a little sex appeal with her.
But she cleaned up nicely. Shout out to Steph. This is getting awkward,
what's the Hilton, the Washington Hilton? I partied with KYS one year at the Washington Hilton. She had on this glitter dress. And I was like, now y'all see what I'm talking about. I've been telling y'all niggas all this time, and nobody wanted to believe me. Steph is, Steph was, shout out to the Pooch, man. Man, shout out to everybody at WKOS, WPGC, everybody in the DMV to show love, man.
Man, yeah, exactly, dog. Like Pooch, and then Pooch was the personality. He's the one that taught me how to bring it out. He was like, nah. He was like, fuck that. You be yourself. You want to be crazy, be silly. But he also taught me, he was like, do that. But you can't jump the gun. You got to know when to pull back. You got to know when to jump out there. He was, and he had that balance, and that shit was just amazing to me. And like I learned, and then Steph, like you said, she was the tough one, to take no shit, boom, boom, boom. And then we had a lot of that in common. So we bumped heads a lot. But to this day, it don't matter. I love her to death. She could be like, face that fucking pain in the ass. And I'd be like, I love you too. And she'll call, that's exactly, amongst everything else that people call me. But yeah, to this day, I don't care if they all three say, you know what, man, fuck Face. I don't care. I love them to death. They changed my life, yo. They introduced me to a world that I had no intention of getting into. I was again, hip hop. I used to do the roll call, and I was the freestyle champ. And the only reason why I lost was a technicality, because I started selling cars at College Park Honda, you bitch ass motherfucker. What the fuck was his name? As a matter of fact, I ain't even gonna give you that light. I said, yo, just please. Just let me, and mind you, this is College Park Honda. This is like 10 minutes from Lanham. Just let me run over there, crush these youngins. I will put College Park Honda in my freestyle. Just let me go. And as a car salesman, Saturdays is the busiest day of the week. So they was just not having it, yo. And I had to listen to them say I was disqualified. Or that shit broke my heart. But it's okay, because by then I was already in the building, and then we were all light skinned. People swear that me and P. Stu were brothers. I used to get pieced to a truck too, which I have to apologize over and over again. Because
Oh,
when I started driving the KYS truck, working in the promotion
shit.
department,
Mhm.
and again, I know people from different walks of life, and I used to be out there on New York Avenue with Pip Juju and Big L and all of, but they were my boys. I met them through Big, Tree and everybody. So and you know, and then his wife would get a call and be like, "You out there with them hookers and blah blah blah." And somebody called the radio station, and yeah, they thought it was Stu. It wasn't Stu. It was me. I was a troublemaker. Man, I used to call so much shit when I was at KY.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I can only imagine, man. And bringing it full circle, the young drink your water for sure. But in that situation, she drank 4 bottles of water in 20 minutes, and it led to her it unalived her. It led to her untimely demise.
Oh,
so I have never really heard of that, but apparently that's a thing. Well, you can overdo it with the water and unalive yourself. And that's the what the fuck story of the week, because I never heard of nothing like that before.
Me neither.
I was reading the article like, what happened? She drank too much water.
So wait a minute. Is this like within a certain time frame? Like
she did it in 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, she drank 4 16-ounce bottles of water, and that is apparently too much liquid in the body at one time to it something malfunctioned, and it ultimately led to her demise. Her organs.
I gotta tell my oldest son, my youngest son drinks a ton of water too, but there are times where if my oldest son, especially because he's a big boy like I am, and he's working on that and he's training and stuff, so there's times where he'll down at least 2 at once. I gotta let him know that. Wow, I did not know that was a thing.
And that's why I brought it up, because I'm a water drinker. I'm either drinking water or liquor. Sorry, that's just me. And I drink a lot of water. And I saw that, and it made me pause because of how much water I actually drink. But yeah, that's something to be mindful of, you guys. And you can do your own Googles. I am not a doctor. I'm reporting what happened. But be mindful that you can drink too much water in one sitting. 4 bottles in 20 minutes apparently is too much, and it can be fatal. Just keep that in mind and do your Googles on your own, but keep that in mind. And now I want to go into our don't be dumb award face, because
who did it?
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Well, Two-Face's high school buddy Donald Trump, because they went to prom with their dates together in the same limo.
I wish.
Your boy do this. He is being indicted at the current moment. And out here in Atlanta, Fannie Lewis is indicting him for the voter conspiracy, that saying the election was rigged. He has that account, but he also has accounts in New York for his sexual misconduct. And the judge said, "Hey, look here, buddy. There'll be no threats. There'll be no I'll get you back. And if it happens, I'm gonna throw your ass in jail."
Right.
The very next day, guess what he did?
What?
Sent a tweet with a threat. "If you come after me, I'm coming after you." And he had this week to explain his tweet and how it wasn't a threat, so he wouldn't be sent to jail. His lawyer submitted an answer saying it wasn't really a threat, it was whatever. But the judge, a black woman, has already said, "We ain't having that. We're going to investigate that tweet to the fullest, and you'll be punished."
I'll get right. I'm torn about that, and I have feelings about that people won't take the right way.
Share.
The whole Donald Trump is a racist thing. You know what I think about Donald Trump? I don't think he's a racist. I think, because if he was a racist, why is trumping an actual verb? Why he hung out with so many artists? He's helped people and almost every rapper has a verse with his name in it. But then when politics got involved, he tried to play both sides of the fence. Is he a blunt asshole? Damn right. He's always been straight up, but I never felt like he was a racist. Even the stuff that he said about, like, it was like when he talked about Baltimore. Shit's fucked up in Baltimore. But it's just that he is the epitome of, it's not just what you say, but how you say it. So what he said alone was already up there, but then how he would say it, was like, damn. Like, I know his PR people, damn, young, just shut the fuck up. Why you gotta say it like that? Like, you know, and he didn't want to, he just like now, he's more against the system because, you know, they ain't fucking with him like that. So now he's going against the grain. And so that's just the thing that's been with him. He didn't want to piss off his racist friends because when he was just a billionaire, he didn't have to worry about which his friends are racist or which weren't. He knew when he kept people at bay at different, you know, and that's why I'm like, yo, he's not a racist. He makes stupid decisions. He says some fucked up shit. Yeah. But and now that they ain't fucking with him like that, he's now shitting on the system and talking about how things are rigged. So And so now he's getting the people that were already coming for his head on top of the new people that are coming for his head. So and the fact that he still wants to run for president is what's making him such a huge target because he won't do it the way they want him to do it. And who knows what else? And then it's his whole, you know, and then there's the relationships with your man with the island and all that other shit. So, you know, this shit's crazy. So now as far as that and how far that goes, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, because come on, in the beginning of his campaign, the first thing that came out was him talking about grabbing by the pussy. And
exactly. And my issue with Trump was never that he was racist. I assume all white people over the age of 60 are racist. He was never no different than Biden or Clinton. Like, you know, everybody said Clinton was the first black president. I didn't vote for him. He was an old white man. I hate to say this like this, but I don't like old white people. So Trump, Clinton, Biden, Bernie Sanders, they all the same person. They all old white people. Hillary, they all old white people. I don't like none of them. So my issue with Trump was never that he was racist because I assumed they're all racist. My issue was I thought he was stupid. Incompetent. You know, that was my issue with Trump. And that's still my issue with Trump. And I think he's an opportunist. I think he'll cater to his white racist friends if it'll get him some lobbies and some votes.
Yep.
And catering to them goes against my interests. So whether you're racist or not, Lyndon B. Johnson was racist, but he passed legislation to help black people, to help advance the country, not just black people. He didn't do it to help niggas. He did it to help the country. And it just coincidentally helped niggas too. Abraham Lincoln, racist. He didn't do the Emancipation Proclamation to help black people. He did it to help the country. It just so happened to help black people. If you're smart enough to do what's best for the country, which will ultimately help us, I'm with you.
Right.
You ain't got to like black people. You could be KKK. If you're going to do the right thing, do the right thing. So Trump being racist or not racist had no bearing on how I feel about him. What are you going to do when you get the power?
Yep.
You can hate me and all my people, but if you know this is best for the country to put us in a different position, hate us. I hate you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna ask you to do nothing I'm not capable of. You know what I'm saying? But that was my issue with Trump, and I want to see him get punished. I ain't never seen nothing like June 6th. I ain't never seen nothing like that where there was literally an insurrection, and
he instigated the whole fucking thing.
Instigated the whole thing. It's got to be a penalty for that. There got to be some kind of penalty.
What do they say? With great power comes great responsibility. You can't have that kind of power and then those subtle hints and then say shit that you know is gonna get them rural, what they call themselves, the good old boy, whatever the whatever boys,
the good old boys,
and all that. Like, he knew what he was doing,
Boys.
and that's Proud Boys. He knew what he was doing. He used it just like how he got elected. He got elected by bringing the rural community out, just like Obama brought the urban community out. So and all he did was take his thing, but that's a whole nother story. But you know, but he instigated the shit out of that to the point where the way he shitted on Mike Pence, because Mike Pence was trying to step away from all that, they started going after him too. Oh yeah, they was gonna kill Mike. They would have killed that man if they found him that day. We killed him. Yeah,
And
All of them would have died. Nancy Pelosi, all of them would have been dead.
yeah. And I worked with a guy I used to call Racist Rick. And Racist Rick loved Trump. He loved him in a unhealthy way. I'm like, whoa. He was 80-something years old. He was like maybe 70s, maybe like 78. But he loved them. And he emailed me like maybe 3-4 months ago, like, tell everybody we're going for DeSantis and we're not doing Trump anymore. Like, that was going to be the thing. Like, oh, yeah, I'm to all the black people to go for, like, I was like, Racist Rick, if you don't get on my email, we ain't worked together in 2-3 years. If you don't get on somewhere and dial something. And I'm
clearly watching the podcast.
Right. Clearly. I'm a firm proponent of let old ideas die with old people. And I got that from KRS-One. A direct quote. But that's how I feel. I'm gonna let old ideas die with old people. We're not doing that no more. And I'm Fannie Willis here in Georgia that's going against Trump. That's a local charge, and they're saying that Kemp could get him pardoned. And if y'all that don't know, out of Georgia, Kemp stole the governor's seat from Stacey Abrams, but he does have it. And if Fannie goes after him, Kemp could pardon that. But I don't think Trump is going to get a universal pardon. This black lady judge that's doing this federal trial seems like she's after him. I want to see how that goes. Nothing in me believes Trump's going to jail. It's just like real. Like, when does that ever happen?
I think at this point, they're just trying to stop him from running for president again.
Exactly. And someone else who I think could easily win the presidency, and I tell you, I think majority of our listeners will vote for her.
If it's sports, if it's fashion, if it's music, if it's hustling, whatever, you're on a marathon, So
somebody who's on their marathon, and it is the Queen Bee. Shout out to Beyonce. She did something for us, for all our folks back in the DMV that went to her concert that started late. She paid Metro enough money to keep the Metro going for an hour after the concert,
out of here,
so that they could get home. Queen Bee. I thought that was the most gangster shit I ever heard. She paid Metro enough money to stay open an hour late so her concert goers could get home. Where a round of applause at? Where the hell is my... Face, you've been in radio for 20-some damn years.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of anything like this?
Nah, not at that level. That's a lot of money she had to pay.
Yeah.
And do you know places? What was it at the Verizon Center or whatever they call it now, Capital One Arena? You know, because when I was, and this was like more than 20 years ago, when I was with my man Mike Jones, who used to be the promotions, the original Mike Jones, I used to call him, and who used to be the promotion director for KYS when I first got into the business.
Okay.
And I was with him when they were setting up these concerts, and when we were at it was the MCI Center at the time. Do you know it's $20,000 an hour overtime? I think, or it might even be, and that was back then. Now this is 25, 30 years later. I can't even imagine what her late fees plus paying Metro. That's first, and you got to, when you got people paying that, your fans are paying that magnitude of money to come see you. You kind of expect it, or you would want that to be something that, not be surprised by that. But but then again, that's why she has the Beehive, because she does shit like that.
It definitely made me a fan. I was like, I respect that.
That's huge.
I've never seen her in concert alone because I wouldn't, but I saw her and Jay-Z together on the Run tour. I fuck with B. I fuck with B. Be cool. But I thought that was really cool, especially since it was in DC. That's what made that story. I would have shouted it out anyway, but because it was home, I had to definitely shout it out. And this is something that wasn't home, but it just still affects home. UPS. The UPS workers threatened to go on strike, and UPS said, no, don't do it. All full-time employees are going to make an average of $49 an hour, which means over $100,000 a year. So, ladies, when the dude tells you he works at UPS full-time at least, he a six-figure nigga.
All right, well, look here. Hey, look here. For now that y'all getting them 6 figures, when they order a package, young, don't be lazy. Come, bring your ass up the steps. Knock on the door. Don't be like, oh man, fuck that. I'm gonna leave the little joint right here.
Right,
Or we leave a note, because in my last place that I lived at, the call box didn't work in the building, right? So we would leave notes on the door. FedEx, they'll leave the package outside. Amazon will leave the package outside, but USPS will leave the package outside. But UPS, no. And then when you call and complain, they'll be like, young, he just left. Can you just tell him to come back real quick? No, you can't do that.
Yeah, so y'all making 6 figures now. You gotta relax. And face the part-time employees. If you're an existing part-time employee, you make at least $21 an hour. They're making money now. They're making enough to make a decent living. You know what I'm saying? No matter what city you're in, that's at least decent.
Yeah.
And I respect it, man. You know, I respect it. I appreciate it. I applaud it. If it would have happened 10 years ago, I might have stopped rapping and became a UPS worker instead of a podcaster. But
that brings a whole new light to the phrase, don't be mad, UPS is hiring. So you'll be okay now. Biggie. Nah, Biggie said that.
Biggie.
Yeah.
Oh, Biggie. Don't be mad. UPS is hiring. Don't be mad.
Probably should have been a cop. Fuck hip hop with that freestyle. You're bound to get shot. I'm a motherfucker. Biggie Joe. Come on, son.
Rest in peace, Biggie. He's not in my top 5, but I recognize that he is the rap Alfred Hitchcock for sure. I recognize that. Rest in peace, Biggie. Man, and that was, you know, our Nipsey Hussle Awards, and definitely a round of applause for all you guys. Netflix and chill. I'm not watching anything for real, face. I'm trying to get into Succession, and I've been told to get into Billions. I haven't gotten into either one of those yet. What are you watching that's got you excited?
Nothing. I've watched everything. I've been actually trying to find different things. Like I found out that Dick Wolf is the Dick Wolf's the executive producer for damn near every crime show. But I started watching FBI because I thought it would be corny. But the show FBI is kind of intense, like his Law and Order series are. But I'm looking for something new to watch. I've been watched everything I could possibly think of. I'm waiting for the full final season of The Blacklist to come out, so that way I don't have to watch starting at episode 15. Assholes paying all this damn money for these damn streaming jumps. But I might have to watch another joint. But I think that's a movie with the guy who played Thor, the Extractor.
I've been hearing about that.
I keep seeing posts about Extractor 2, but I never saw the first one. So
I saw the first one. It was fire.
And I heard the second one was everybody's saying that the second one was as good, if not better. So I need to watch that.
I'll be watching that. Have you seen
but nothing is making my brain go, oh, nothing is, I'm not getting that fulfillment from any shows right now. And it's
have you seen Upload? It's on Apple, I think. And it's about when you die, you can have your brain or whatever reserved, and it's like a program. So you have your own heaven or your hell, depending on how much money you have. So you die and they take your brain and they put you in a virtual world. And depending on how much money you have, you're in a mansion and you're chilling, and you get visits from your people that are still alive. And if you're poor, you're in poor conditions, but you're still alive after death. And there was one character who was killed by his company because he was running the business in a nice way, and they wanted to do more shady stuff. And they took the money, so he was living poor in his afterlife. And an employee that was poor in the real world was rich in the afterlife. And you still get to interact with the living if you have enough money.
Wow,
that was a pretty decent show. Season 2 dropped a few months ago. I haven't started season 2, but it was different. It's different.
That's what I'm looking for. I want something that's gonna make my brain think instead of the fucking 20th version of The Walking Dead. It's like, let it go.
Right.
And I love that show. I love that show with a passion.
I never finished it. But I watched it for 37 seasons. I couldn't do 38, 39 through 47, but I watched the first 38.
Are you a Sons of Anarchy fan?
No, but I have seen it and I respect it. My brother watches Sons of Anarchy. So in the first iteration, I've probably seen a total of like 20 episodes. And when it came back, what was it called?
They have a new one, The Mayans, which is a spinoff.
Now, I've never seen The Mayans, but I've seen about 20 episodes of Sons of Anarchy. I need to finish.
It's worth watching. It's to me, that was one when you think about the stories that you hear, when you see the news and you watch Gangland and you see all this crazy real life shit, and then you watch that show, and it's just so well put together. There's racist shit involved, but there's racist shit everywhere you go. They weren't scared to put that shit out there, and you get emotionally attached, dog. Between that show and the show 911, dog, them two shows got me praying for people that ain't even real. I'm praying for characters.
Damn,
man, Opie, man, miss you, Opie. Oh, man. Yo, like. Wow, that show was it was just everything, the storylines, the people, the how they did it, and they weren't scared to touch on racial and physical and illegal shit that some people they will touch on, the popular shit. So to me, that was a great show. And then the Mayans was actually a great spinoff. They just did their final season. It didn't last as long as Sons of Anarchy, but they waited for like 5 or 6 seasons. And they went out with a bang, bro. Woo-wee.
Okay.
Woo-wee.
I'll throw this out there because I love watching black women on camera, women of color on camera. It's my thing. So Harlem. Have you seen Harlem?
No.
That's Megan Good's show. It's the black Sex in the City.
Really? I'm gonna have to see. I need stuff like that. I need that variety to check out.
Yeah. Madam. Well, it's not, I don't know if it's called Madam. All the King's Men, All the Queen's Men, but Eva from Top Model. Eva.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
She has a show.
I keep thinking Eva Longoria, but that's the Spanish lady.
Spanish one. Eva, whoever. But respect to you, Queen, not whatever. Respect. But
I met her in person. Goodness gracious. Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
that is such a natural.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah.
She owns a male strip club, and she has a drug business. And some of the male strippers are part of her drug business. And so it's some what's the show Down in the Valley?
Where the girls get naked.
Yeah, it's the opposite of that. So it's some, it's some moments where you
like. It was a hard show. Some episodes were harder to watch than others, but that's what they got. The matter of fact, I got my little. You see that? Hit that little button right there. Hit that little button right there, or you hit that little button right there. That fast forwards 10 seconds. Tap it. Oh, they're still at it. Tap it again, and then you get back to all the good shit. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
That
show ain't that deep. It ain't that deep.
Right.
All the Queen's Men with Eva.
I gotta watch that.
It's just as good, and the suspense and the thriller and the drug activities and the gang shit and the different crews fighting and this and that. And so it's a BET show. That's on fire. Just to give you something different, but fire though.
But I need shit like that.
Yeah. So we gotta exchange like the sci-fi, the thrillers, and the ratchet. We got to mix all that up so we hip on everything. But I want to get into music a little bit. And this drop for music, I know you're going to get it because you about my age. And this shit, I just love doing this because it's funny as hell to play this. But this is how I introduce all the different music.
This is a fantastic album, man. Let me borrow it.
No, my brother. You got to buy your own.
You remember that commercial?
Got to buy your own.
You got to buy your own. So in getting into new music that I've heard over the last week, and don't forget, you guys, the Pod Name Kickback music playlist is available on Apple, and I update it every single Friday with the new music. It's about 3 hours of music. Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to send it to you. I'll make sure I send it to you. And matter of fact, for you guys listening and watching, it's in the link of the bio. So you can download it from Apple right there. But Usher and Summer Walker have a new song called Good Good.
Oh boy.
Shout out to Booby Cat. This song is about a couple who broke up and will never get back together again. They're not good, but they're still good. That's a crazy song. Check that out.
Reminds me of me and my ex.
See? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like we good. We ain't good, but we good.
Exactly.
And,
Sierra and
we're
Chris
doing
Brown.
a damn good job at co-parenting, and that's the most important part.
And hell yeah, that is the most important thing. Where my goddamn round of applause? Because co-parenting is a real thing and it needs to be celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
Sierra and Chris Brown have a song called How We Roll, and that's just about fuck buddies, basically. It's how we roll. So everybody that's out there getting their roll on, there's a song for you. Yo Gotti, one of my favorite rappers, Hip Hop 50, dropped a new album and mixtape with DJ Drama. You can get the mixtape version or the album version without drama. I enjoy both.
Smart.
Yeah, I love it. I'm a Yo Gotti fan. I've been listening to him for years. It is not his best work, I'll say that, but I'm enjoying it and I'm listening to it actively, and that does tell you what you want. And real quick, before I get into what Face is listening to, Ty Dolla $ign and Chris Brown got a new record. Mario, Lil Wayne, and Tiger got a new record. Doja Cat put out a new record where she's rapping.
I like
everybody that says she can't rap or she's really a singer. Hell yeah. Well, the sample is goddamn. I can't think of what the sample is, but it's an old R&B sample, and she killed it. What you listening to, Face?
Don't ask me that. That's my problem. I don't keep track of all the new stuff. If it wasn't for DJ Gemini, DJ Joe Ice, and DJ Schemes, I wouldn't know what the hell is out. Unless their music is being promoted on the radio stations that I do commercials for, because I'm the urban guy for Odyssey. I'm one of the urban guys. And shout out to my man DJ Too Much, who flew me in. He was like, yo, a rare position is open. You might want. Yeah. And then that's how that came about. So shout out to DJ Too Much.
That's what's up.
That's my bro Chacho right there. But yeah, if I'm not working, like I said, they keep me up to date on the new stuff. And if it's not being advertised on radio or if one of my clients is not booking them for a show, like for when I do the radio commercials or do promo videos, I don't like even what's my man? Big dude. He ain't the most lyrical, but his cocky, what's his name? Big something. And
30394339.
What's his name? Big something, big Boogie or something like that. With the raspy voice. I like his flow. I like it. I wasn't, it hit, what's the name? I do like the fact that Trail is, and he didn't come home and say, all right, I'm gonna try to sound like everybody else. He sounds like Fat Trail. So that helps.
I'm still playing that last tape he just dropped. That jump, I'm still playing that jump.
So but yeah, other than that, like my oldest son, he'll keep me hip to certain joints that's out because he has an amazing music palette. Like he listens to everything from, he'll listen to the new guys and he'll put me on, like my favorite rapper that he ever put me on to that's from the younger generation is A Boogie with the Hoodie. That kid is a star. Okay. He knows how to tell stories. He's very melodic. So, but yeah, I listen, dog. If you look at my playlist, 90s and 99 and the 2000s. And not just hip hop and R&B, like the rock. I love all the rock from that era. Like the whole thing we were talking about earlier with the interview with Nas and talking about the favorite eras, like the 90s, anything from the 90s, late 80s rock and roll, hip hop, R&B, and everything else. All the 90s through the early 2000s. I got that shit on replay, bro. I be DJing in my little turntables, playing the same shit over and over again. Neighbors be like, okay, he's clearly old because he won't play nothing. He only plays a couple of new joints. Like the newest shit I'll be playing is like, damn, yeah, early 2000s. Yeah,
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all. Who else we got to shout out before we get out of here? Let's see. Okay, Torey Lanez was sentenced to 10 years. With the Megan Thee Stallion shooting. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I'm going to accept what the court has said, and it is what it is. And I'll add to this: if you shoot a woman, there's no reason to shoot a woman. If you shoot a woman, you a bitch ass nigga.
Period.
If you didn't shoot a woman and you go to jail for it, that's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But if you shoot a woman, you a bitch ass nigga. That's it. That's all.
Even shoot at her. Like, come on.
You shoot at her.
Like, come on.
So that's all I got. If you shoot at her or shoot her, you a bitch ass nigga. Nothing I can do for you. If you're innocent, There's nothing I can do for you unless you can prove it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Like that.
And shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. I know she was very upset that nobody believed her. I still don't know what to believe. I just know what the decision was. And out of respect for her, I'm going to just accept the decision and say, if you shoot a woman or at a woman, you a bitch ass nigga. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, brother.
Yes, sir. And what's your football team, Face? You got a football team?
Of course, the Patriots.
Okay.
Funny how that came about, because people back home get getting my shit about that. But for the record, I was never a Skins fan either. All right, so I was a Dolphins fan, but I was more so a Dan Marino fan. Even with me liking the 49ers when I was young, it was more so because I just thought it was the coolest shit watching Joe Montana and Jerry Rice play together. Just like watching Kobe and Shaq. I wasn't a Lakers fan, but damn, just how do you not enjoy watching that kind of chemistry on the field, on the court? But when I did radio in 03 and 04, I met a lot of the Patriots, and whether it was parties, I was invited to games. I hosted private parties for, like, they would put together these big parties for the family and friends who can't go to the game or aren't going out of town. They would do the big joints at home. They had me hosting all that shit because I was the crazy ass. When you go from listening to a guy that says, blazing the wheels on Hot 97.7 to a ebonics, obnoxious, just ebonics speaking Puerto Rican dude from DC, they ate it up, young. And like, if the station had been half as stable, let's say, as our competition there, or as KYS in DC, or I would have never left. I was treated like a king, including with the team. And then when I sprained my wrist when we beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl, and I hosted the private party, and we were all going crazy and I boom hit my wrist on the bar table. They offered to pay my hospital bills.
Damn.
After that, after that kind of energy, and then they offer that shit, I was like, yeah, how could I not be a fan? And then that's when I started paying more attention to them, and not just because they won the Super Bowl. And when you're there and they're treating you like royalty, it's kind of hard not to become a fan. And then I started getting into it. And I just wanted to see good games. But then, like I said, they made me a fan. And even after Brady left, I mean, people like, fuck Brady. Nah, if you're a real Patriots fan, you're not going to say fuck Brady. He gave us, 6 rings?
Yeah.
Spent his whole career there, except for, just saying, all right, now that I'm getting divorced, I want to go out and try some new pussy. It is what it is. But he gave us 6 fucking rings. Like, come on, man, let that man live. And so to this day, I pay homage to him, man. But yeah, to my ADHD answer, the Patriots.
I'm with you. I was raised a Cowboy fan in DC.
I know you get all that shit.
Yeah, but you know how I combat it? Like, the Redskins was the last team to let a black person play for them. So a lot of black people in DC was like, oh, no black people can play for you? What's your rival? Who you don't like? The Cowboys? Well, black people, we going to the Cowboys since y'all don't want no niggas on your team.
That's deep.
That's how I was raised. I had cowboy diapers. Cowboys were sorry when I was a kid. I used to look at my mother like, the Redskins winning Super Bowls? We from DC. Why are we Cowboy fans? This is stupid.
There was a point in U.S. history where both the Cowboys and the Patriots at one point in time were the absolute worst team in the NFL.
Yep. And
so
I'm
everything they're doing now is still progress.
Right. And I'm sitting here like, what are we doing? But she's like, we Cowboy fans. And then my mother passed, unfortunately. And I held the Cowboy thing down. Like, I'm a stay Cowboy fan. And then in the 90s, we started winning. So a lot of people think if you're a Cowboy fan, you joined when they was winning with Emmett and them. Nah, nigga, I was there when we was 1-15. And all my cousins Redskin fans and teasing me and yelling at me and talking trash to me. And I had to sit there and take it. If I took 1-15, yep, I'm taking them 3 rings.
Right.
And if I had to take what this mediocre average Cowboy team is now, I'm gonna take him when we finally start winning again. Hopefully.
That's how I feel too. Because at the end of the day, we still got Belichick, and his son's on the coaching staff. I believe in that, and I know when one thing Bill knows how to do is build a team and put the right pieces together. It just, you know, and that's like the whole thing was unfortunate, even with Brady and Antonio Brown. Like Brown got the short end of the stick in that situation, and that sucks. But yeah, I'm 45 now, bro. I'm not changing no teams. I've been riding with the Patriots since 2003. I ain't going nowhere. It's been 20 years. I ain't going no damn way.
I don't blame you. I've been riding with the Cowboys. Well, before I knew what riding with them meant, I had Cowboy diapers. I was born in '76, and this is all I know. It's all I know.
Shout out to Rated R, yeah. Or excuse me, he's DJ Caddy Mac now.
Yeah, shout out Caddy Mac.
No, Caddy Mac and DJ Rico. They're also extremely
those are two of my Cowboy compatriots.
Yeah. All y'all are obnoxious.
Family. And just so y'all know, my right name was New to Mayor. I was the mayor. DJ Rico was, everybody had a name, the mayor, the governor, the senator. DJ Rico was the bald head of Treasury. So DJ Rico was part of the GOV, and Rated R, that's my homie, we family. I could go into a million different stories about that. But yeah, Cowboy fans, we here. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to his mom and pop. That's how close we are. I know his parents very well.
And the thing is that with oh my goodness, I'm tired. You know, it is past my bedtime too, and my ADHD's on fire. But damn it, young, I just had a brain fart. What was I talking about with Snoop?
Cowboys, Rated R, DJ Rico, music.
It was about
radio, family.
Yeah, I lost
parents.
it. Yeah, right. I lost it.
We'll try to get it. Try to get it back. But as we wind up, I'm gonna give you a chance to try to think of it. Did you see the picture of Megan Good, her 42nd birthday picture?
Megan Good been looking good.
She been looking good, but I want to do a recount. She needs to get up in the top 5 of the last 20 years or something. She needs to. We got to raise. I've had her lower. She needs to come up higher. I'm.
That's how I felt about your boo boo,
Shanti.
Yeah, buddy. She running shit now. She even makes Beyonce look basic now, young.
Hey,
and that says a lot.
I've been saying, hey, Face, how long I've been saying this, man, about Shanti?
Since we met.
You know what I'm saying? People, I just discovered her yesterday. I'm like, dog, it's me. Yeah. She sent me that happy birthday tweet. What, 2-3 years ago? You know, I lost my goddamn mind. Oh my God, they was tweeting her. Why'd you do that? We're never going to hit the end of this. And I'm like,
I believe
you're right.
Yo, and then Nelly said, "Oh, I want that old thing," but he got her too. Better not fumble that bag, boy.
Hey, you know, I'm watching. I'm watching every move. That up. I'm watching every move.
Baddest out here right now. Name somebody badder than Ashanti right now.
You can't. And
that has an adorable personality like that.
I'm glad somebody else is saying it with the most infectious laugh ever. Yeah, if she laugh, you laugh.
No, I've done concerts with her, parties with her, interviewed her like 3 times. Don't
get too close to my boo.
Hey, too late.
Chill out, Face. Chill out.
But yeah, boy, you know what's crazy, because even with what's her name when she was in the America's Top Model, Eva, another one. For them to be so, I love it when I meet a woman that's so fine, but yet they actually have a personality and are actually humble. The whole time, young Ashanti was running the world, bro. Super humble, mad cool. And even with that, I felt bad about the whole situation with Ja Rule, because Ja Rule's another humble, mad cool. She always showed love with Tap In when he came to town. So when him and 50, when they were doing all that, I stayed away from all that shit.
Yeah,
because I fuck with 52. His DJ Chubby Chubb, that was my radio partner when I did my 2 years in Boston at High 97.
Okay,
and like we broke rating records together. The station was number 13 when I got there. It was 3 when I left.
And you know what? I don't do a lot of interviews here. I like to bring people into my world and have discussions or sit. I like to talk about. But Face, we got to bring you back for a real interview and get your real story.
Sure.
We got to do that.
I'm not used to that. And people tell me I don't speak out enough. I don't push even Chandra was getting on my case about how I don't push myself. I've never been that type of person. And there's a guy named James Yankee Boy Mills.
Okay.
He was our manager. He managed Next Generation DJs. I was the only host, and then came Malik, and we were the ones that did the parties with all the DJs and hosting and shit like that. And he gave me that career. But even then, I was shy. People like, how are you shy? You're Two-Face the Wild Boy. Because that's why I related to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a very quiet person. I was a quiet person. When you see me at the club, yeah, I dap everybody up like I'm the mayor. And every club I worked at, it was the same thing. I dapped up everybody, not just the DJ and the popular people. No, I dapped up everybody, the staff, even the bus boys. We had our own handshake at stadium. So I say that to say what the hell I was going on with that. This is when you know I got to go to bed because
we'll end it with this. You were saying that to say that you haven't told your story the way you need to.
I just don't
want to tell it here on a pod named Kickback.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's like I've always been the one to ask people. I've always interviewed people. I talk to people about things, but I never really share my story because I didn't really think I really had one, especially because even though I had a good radio career, it wasn't that long. And then when I got fired from KYS, my first son was born a week later. And I took that to heart that they fired me knowing that I'm about to have a kid. And it was, we had a rough patch. Jess was she was a high risk pregnancy thing for whatever reason. But I will say this as a lesson to all of that. And this is why you have to trust the process and you have to believe and you have to keep faith, regardless of what your faith is or whatever moves you. You gotta rock with that and I say this because I despise the guy who fired me for many years to the point where I left radio. That's where the name Dan Wilder came from. My name ain't Dan Wilder. I'm Puerto Rican. Ain't nothing Puerto Rican about Wilder. My last name's Maldonado. But Dan Wilder came from Van Wilder, the party liaison, and my little sister always saying, thanks, Dan. So eventually it just came together. It was a great way to get away from being Two-Face the Wild Boy. But for a long time, I acted like Two-Face the Wild Boy didn't exist because I was butthurt. And I never, Real One was all I knew when it came to radio. Never made air checks since then. No, I made an air check once, but yeah. So yeah, I feel comfortable telling my story because of everything I had to go through from the day I got fired to now. Being told that I would never be heard on DC radio again, to being heard on every station, commercial wise, voiceover wise, being heard on every single radio station in the DMV, surrounding the DMV, plus being all over the country. And so, but if I didn't go through that at the time, now I apply everything that my old bosses used to teach me. But I needed to go through that because even my doctor, when I got fired in August, I went to see my doctor in January, worried because the Cobra insurance, that extra shit, all that shit was running out. So I'm getting these tests. And at the time I was taking hypertension medication, and to be taking hypertension medication in your 20s, that's just fucking crazy because that's the lifestyle I was living. So I'm like, yo, what am I going to do, with my insurance and my medication? And he came back and he said, listen, Dan, I'm not the one to say I told you so. He showed me my test results. That was August, whatever August to January is. I'm too tired to do the math. From that time to then, hypertension gone because my lifestyle, he told me, he was like, dude, you're fucking killing yourself. But I was making so much money. And I mean, come on. I mean, my salary was only 70,000, but 15 years ago, that wasn't bad. But the endorsements, the parties, the appearances, the mixtapes, the features, it was wow. And to the point where I was always a humble dude, but behind the scenes, my lifestyle was crazy. And if I didn't go through that, and if I didn't get fired, realistically, I could have had a heart attack at a young age. I almost had one at Unifest, the last Unifest that they had with KYS. And we were on stage, and I was on stage partying with Graf because he had the I'm a Wild Boy song. We get off stage, we get to the live broadcast. I'm talking on the air, and me and Antonio, the Cuban cigar smoker, missed that.
Remember him?
And we're talking. All of a sudden, I couldn't get my words out. I grabbed my chest. I didn't know that if you grab your chest, that's automatic. You're going to the hospital no matter what. Because I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. So it was more of a anxiety, stress thing on my body. And in fact, I was almost 400 pounds back then when I was on the air. I was fat. I just wore it well. So yeah, man. So yeah, you got, and if that dog, I probably wouldn't even be here if that didn't happen. And I had to learn where my mistake, and my biggest mistake in radio, and this I always tell people, even if you have the most rawest talent, learn the structure of whatever business you're in. Because Malik he knew a lot of the structure, but me, I was reckless. I went off of raw talent alone, and it fucked me in the end, because I always tell people you got to know how to play the game, you got to know how to move through the system, but yet I wasn't learning the system. I knew how to. I mean, I was a hustler. I knew how to fucking move. That's my whole life. I've been hustling. Like, I didn't go to college, so I hustle, and just everything I'm good at has to do with sales. So, but had I learned the structure of the business, who knows what could happen? But I don't dwell on, and that's another thing Sean gets on me about. I don't dwell on coulda, woulda, shouldas. But if that didn't happen, I most likely would not be here.
Face, we're gonna tell the story. We're gonna tell the story before the year is out.
Cool.
And
I'll be around.
I got a feeling, I'm gonna throw this out there, and I'm just gonna watch your facial expression. I got a feeling you'll be here a lot more weeks than not going forward. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not, I'm just throwing it out there. I think on Wednesday nights at 9, if I have my way, you'll see a lot more of Dan Wilder.
And I got my setup back because we moved from Rhode Island. We're back in the Boston area. Got my setup back. Got my camera hooked up over there. You know what I'm saying? The microphone is right here. My voiceover mic.
And a young lady that really understands the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You could take this to we'll talk next time. But I'm telling you,
and I've always told you I love the fucking name, dude. Like, come on, y'all. How could I told my son that, he bust out laughing. He was like, yo, that's awesome. But I told him what show I was gonna be on. He loves the name. So yeah, come on, son. The pod name Kickback. If you don't know where that comes from,
exactly.
You need to get more hip with the culture, brother.
Exactly.
But anytime, man. Let's go. This was fun, man. I love it. It was therapeutic for me at the same time.
Boom. I appreciate you. I want everybody out here to continue to tune in and support. We're coming off of our best month ever. Awesome. On August 4th, we had our average month number already. This is August 9th. If you're listening, it's August 10th. Hip Hop's birthday is August 11th. And everything is great right now. Everything is great. And I just want to thank everybody for making everything. Hell yeah.
Hard work paying off, baby. That's that hard work. That's that hard work and consistency.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Consistency.
Yes, sir.
Yo, you used to get on my nerves. Black Quicksilver, right? And we used to be on competitive stations. And it's crazy because people like, he's actually a cool dude, young.
Quick.
I got to get to know Quick when I went back to Radio 1 as a producer, working, and everybody just swore I was there because I had a hidden agenda and I wanted to get back on it. Nah, I was trying to push my promo voice. And I got to know him. Not the DJ. Yeah. And it was it's a cool dude, man. No problem. Man, and even when I congratulated him when he took my job, all that comes as a shock to me. I'm like, why? I was like, dog, if I was on PGC with you and White Quick, who's my brother from another mother and always will be, but I would have gone. I went hard because I came up in the battle area. So when I congratulated him, he was like, "Oh, it's like, dog, I don't know you to not like you. I didn't like you threatening the original Quicksilver, and then he took all the shots from all that. But other than that, I don't know you to not like you. My job was to bury everybody, and they say, "Oh, you shouldn't talk about the competition." But truth be told, yeah, they don't want you talking about the competition to the competition digging in your ass. Hey, look, man, they announced that paying your bills thing before us, yo. We need you to shut it down and saying that Donnie Simpson is stealing, blah, blah, blah. Oh, now you want me to do it. But that's a whole nother book.
Yeah, and shout out to, we'll say, the White Quicksilver and the Black Quicksilver. The Black Quicksilver hosted a few of my mixtapes. He was my folks, Eric Clay, owned the Ibiza. Shout out to my man Eric Clay.
Oh man, Eric. I know Eric
with me. He out here in Atlanta with me right now.
Man, get that man a hug for me, man.
Best friend.
It's crazy. Him and my god sister dated during our junior high and high school years. Nikki Henson. That's my god sister.
I dated Cheryl.
You lucky bastard. I was in love with Maxine. Oh my God, I wanted her red ass.
My man dated Maxine. Hey, dog. Hey, face.
Wow, small world.
Ask Nikki who I am.
That is hilarious.
Cheryl Maxine, who I am. Yo. They know me. Like I'm telling you, we before we were driving cars. Eric was with Nikki. Eric met Nikki through me because I was dating Cheryl.
Yeah,
My
but
man,
that was
Maxine. He met Maxine first. He introduced me to Cheryl, so we were a quad. And then Nikki came later, and Nikki was the one that stood out the whole time. And Nikki's stepbrother, Lonnie.
Yep.
That's my best friend.
Lonnie and Larry.
Lonnie and Larry.
Yeah.
Shout out to Larry. But Lonnie is my best friend to this day. That's my
awesome.
When I got jumped outside of Biza by 8 dudes, he ran up and jumped in it. And it was me knocked on the ground getting stomped and him fighting 8 dudes to get them off me. That is my best friend to this day.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, we went through some real street, we went through some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Lonnie, Black, what up, Black? If you see this, matter of fact, I'm gonna cut this clip just so Black can see it. Because I mean, when I said that I was having you on tonight, he gave me the round of applause on the DM. Like, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. So we gotta talk. So could we family now? Like we was family, music family, but I know Nikki since I was 13 years old, and Larry and Lonnie and all of them. So dog,
we still go see him in Annapolis. Or at least I try to go every couple of visits because we don't go to DC as much. So when we do, it's literally locked in family time. And then I be trying to get my mother to go out to Annapolis, but she ain't having it. But
and you know, Eric is out here with me in Atlanta.
I didn't know that. I still
I'm the reason he moved.
And the crazy thing is that I see him online every once in a while. And that shit is just too funny to me. But because I hate to admit this, but when it comes to social media, I'm like rappers that used to come to the open mic and they rap and they roll. I post and I roll. Every once in a while, I'll scroll if I'm waiting to go to sleep, waiting for the weed to kick in. Yeah, but other than that, I'm a rapper and roll. I'm a rapping and rolling rapper, young.
Yeah, we do business together. So all that outside of music, the insurance and all that. That's what we do, man. We gonna talk.
And I knew y'all were tight like that, but I didn't know it till more so after the fact. And but Eric, man, was a cool dude, man. And he always told us.
That's crazy.
When we lived on Girard Street,
I was
tapping on Girard.
I've been at the house. I've been at that house.
You know, Gabby still owns that house, right? Her sister Gabby still lives there to this day.
Didn't, but I talk to Lonnie every day, but I didn't know they still own that house. But I'm gonna tell him we talked about. He gonna trip out when I tell him we talked about him on the podcast tonight. He could be like, "Oh, I got to shout out."
Send him my love, bro. Send him my love, man.
I definitely will, and I'll get us in at least the Instagram group chat. We can all say hey to each other and all that good shit.
Word.
Man, I appreciate you. You made my week by coming on.
Nah, dog, you made my week by having me. You already know how we roll, and it's so dope for us to come full circle from music to doing something that we love. Like,
yes, sir.
The commercial, do I miss radio? Of course. Would I get on an old school station show? Current music? No. I'm just not in it no more. But I love the art of, especially now, because before when I was doing this, I was just doing concerts and party commercials. Now, ever since, and then I started branching out and doing different things. But then with this gig at Odyssey, dog, I went from being the urban guy. I'm on every week. Every week, I'm on their hip hop stations, their old school stations, their top 40 stations, their sports stations, news stations, rock stations. I didn't realize I got commercials running on a country station, Froggy FM. Let's go. So that's because it's all my personalities now get to go into this microphone.
And that's what I say. I can be every version of the rapper I was, everything I am. I can be here, and I ain't gotta rhyme it. I can just be it. But we're gonna talk because you got a home right here. We're gonna talk about it, but you got a home here, man. And I want to appreciate you if y'all tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to see him back, let me know. Let him know.
Let's go.
This episode will be our first thing in the morning. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to another episode of a pod named Kickback. I'm gonna leave y'all with the song that me and Dan Wilder made together about a decade ago. I'm gonna let that be our outro. And Face, I'm gonna hit you tomorrow. We gonna rap. Sir. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. I gotta get out of here because I can hear my kids are still up. I know it's summer vacation, but come on, yeah.
Handle your business. Uno, we out.
Ta. I can't hear the music, but I love you, bro, man. Yeah, let's do this again. I can't hear you. Yeah, hit me. I gotta go put the keys to bed. But yeah, damn, this feels good. Yo, this was therapeutic as fuck.